Hello and welcome back to another video. Today it is WOR round 2 at USA. Heading into this, no, round 3 at USA. Round 2 or 3, I don't know. But yeah, heading into this race, I was praying for wet conditions, and as you see, we have got them. We are very slow around here for some reason. I really don't know why, but yeah, you have these tracks where you're not as good. But yeah, I needed rain, to be honest. I was like 3 tenths off Thomas Ronha when I was getting some decent laps in. So yeah, it's not ideal, but yeah, it's all we can definitely play for it. Play for a pole potentially in the race here, as it is full wet, and I am pretty handy in the wet usually. But as we head into turn 1 for our first lap, completely missing the corner, and it's good to note that you only get 2 sets of wets in the whole of qualifying, so you'll see in a bit what I do, which is quite a horrendous mistake for no like reason or benefit. I didn't really. You see in a bit. It was a pretty stupid call. But in the background is my first Q1 run on the wet tyres. As my throat is killing me. But yeah, so far it's literally just to see the conditions, see what the conditions are saying, and so far it's been pretty terrible. As I say, this is the hard corner. This is the hardest corner on the track because of its downhill. The track falls away from you, and you're braking as late as possible, and you tend to snatch both the front tyres. You see a massive mistake from me there. It's not being a very good lap at all at the moment. And then running wide again, not really getting it together. I'm on quite low wings here, so the driving is going to be very hard because of the high wings, and I haven't really done wet conditions in a while, so yeah, it will be interesting. You see here, completely missing the apex, but now as we head up to the line, 49.6, only under 3 tenths off of that lap, which was very surprising because it was absolutely terrible. But yeah, as we head now down the back straight on our second lap, as I'm talking to chat for some reason when I should be concentrating, into the hairpin, getting it stops nicely, but yeah, not getting the exit this time. Now into the final sector, braking, hitting the apex a bit, and you see it 5 tenths up nearly as we head down into the last set. But then again, missing the corner completely, not getting on the power very quickly either. So it's been another pretty shocker of a lap as we head into the final sector. Taking it nice and tight again, just struggling with the rear end. The low downforce was not playing into my favour here. But as we head down into the last corner, 6 tenths up as we cross the line, and it's P2, 2 tenths nearly off of Luke Smith, which is understandable because that lap was absolutely shocking. But yeah, Q1 all finished, pretty okay session. Bit far off of Luke Smith than where I ideally want to be, but yeah, it is what it is. Now this is our first Q2 lap. We're looking to set a 49.1, and we're going to keep pushing on this lap to try and improve and set basically our tyres were absolutely finished by this point, and we want to hopefully get through on this set, providing the track doesn't completely ramp up like no tomorrow. As we head into the first sector now, 5th gear, flinging it in, lots of commitment. Even though I was on quite low wings, I was driving with a very pointy front end. Like, I was just throwing the car in letting the front do the talking, and then just trying to carry the speed with the rear end. You see, lap's going pretty well so far. 2.5 temps up as we head into the hairpin. 2.5 temps up still, so it's looking pretty comfortable to get through on this lap. As we now head into the final sector for the second time. Down into the braking zone, hitting the apex not brilliantly, but gaining more time, so it's going pretty decently at the moment. Only under half tenth off Luke Smith as we head into the final sector now, the trickiest, longest part of the lap. But then completely running it out wide, losing a good 2 tenths there, I would say, and not getting on power very well. Now through the long right, it's still looking alright, it's still not looking too badly as we fling it in. Good commitment, well I say good commitment, completely messing it up. I thought it was good commitment, but it just wasn't. And into the final corner, the tyres are pretty much finished by this point as we head up to the line. 49.0, losing a good chunk of time there, probably 2-3 tenths in that last sector alone. So now I was really on edge. I didn't know if I would have to go out again. You see, I'm just contemplating going out, and there's like 2 minutes in the session left here, so I'm thinking, do I go out? I do end up going out onto track. As you see here, clicking to go out.
Right. Orientation Q3.
Oh, for
As I'm getting frustrated by IU and doing their strong Scottish accent, but then as soon as we got out of the pits, I decided to back out of it. I didn't really think I needed to go out because the track evolution shouldn't really be that much, as it was 90% rain through the whole session. As you see, I said I'm going to back off, but little to what I was thinking. You see, P10, and we've still got 3 cars come across the line. Daniel, I don't want to even try and say his name. Up to the line, he does beat us, and the track ramped up a good second in the end there. You see, to Harvey Cowan up to the top on a 48.2, and that means we're out in qualifying. Absolute disastrous quali, considering we need to get back in the championship with Nicholas Longe not participating in this race. But now heading into the race is going to be a hard medium strategy as always. You can do medium hard, but I'd rather be at the front to do that. But yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go for round 3, I think, in the USA. Getting an absolutely horrible start, driving into Manu there a little bit, that was my fault. Up the inside here of Liam Parnell, getting a little hit from behind from Boulam. Liam Parnell on our outside. We're going to carry the speed all the way around, stick the overtake on because I know he's going to get boxed in here. Really close with Liam, but we do end up getting around the outside pretty comfortably. Backing out of this move because Tom Manley had the corner. And now, up the inside maybe with Tom? No. I was thinking about it, but yeah, that was never going to really happen. But now we're up behind Tom Manley, Liam Parnell are up behind, sniffing our heels. Tom taking a really slow line due to the cars ahead, and now we're going to get on the battery, see if we can make a move onto Tom Manley. But we end up taking it off quite early. Didn't really want to use and get bottled up behind, but then late on into the straight we turn it on, go for a send up the inside, getting it stopped, pushing him out onto the curb so he can't get good traction, and then that's a move up the outside now. Tom on the inside, good move up into P10 now, but we want to be making more inroads than this. You see a 2 ahead, Leroy Brown, who did not do really any practice for this race, as Tom's going back up the inside. We're side by side into the fast left-hander. It's our corner, so we can dictate where we go, pushing him out wide but then letting him back on the track, and then inside line for us, and it's an easy move up into P10. Now Drake Dempsey up next. We're gonna put on the overtake quite late, go for a move up the inside. I don't think he expected us to do this, so yeah, up the inside we're gonna push him out onto the curb again, so he impacts his traction. and now it's Leroy Brown. So we made 3 positions up in the first lap, pretty good going. But it's going to be a long race from here if we're wanting to be getting some good points. You see Leroy's now lost the train because, like I said, he's a very quick driver, but he didn't do any practice at all. I've actually in a call with him, so he's going to let us go. We're going to use some battery so I don't put him vulnerable to the car behind. And now we've got a 2.1 second gap to be gaining up to the likes of Harvey Cow and Mirko Soriano. But I was really confident I could catch him. You see here, 60-ish% left on my battery and 1.8 to gain to the train, but it's going to be very hard as these guys are all connected to the front train, so whatever pace the guys at the front doing is going to be what these guys are doing as well, as they have DRS. But Harvey ends up dropping off the train, and now we're 3 seconds behind the train, so we've lost about a second to the guys ahead. But we are going to go for a move here on Harvey Cowan. He was struggling a bit. I think he compromised his setup a little bit for the wet conditions. We're going to set up a move, easy move, up the inside.
Oh yeah, they did. Harvey
into the last sector. 2.7 now behind, so the gap's increased a good 7 tenths. And everyone knows catching a train on this game is probably the hardest thing, especially when you have like the likes of Alvaro Carreton up the front controlling the pace. It's going to be very hard to catch him, but we're going to do our best, see what we can do. If we can catch him, then perfect. But yeah, it's going to be, we've only got about 6 laps until the pit window opens, so we got 6 laps to gain, 2.5 seconds to be in the hunt still for some top 5 or maybe even a podium. You see lap 10, 2.1 behind, end of lap 10, 2.1 still, but then end of lap 11 I decided to burn my battery, now 1.6 behind, end of lap 12, 1.5 behind, 1.4 behind now lap 13. So we're absolutely closing the gap, and by this point I'm thinking I'm going to be getting DRS this lap, so this is absolutely perfect. But knowing my luck, as you're about to see, the 2 cars ahead both box, and you can see my face there. I wasn't too best pleased with that, and
my luck. Jesus. What is it?
it's now I'm another 2.5 seconds behind, and this is just far from ideal. This is not really what we wanted. We wanted to stay in the train, and yeah. But now Alvaro Carreton, Ruben P, both pit from the lead, about 4 seconds ahead of me. We're gonna go one more, use all our battery, and pit the next lap, because I saw on the mini map that the guys behind were getting held up. About 13 seconds behind now is Daniel. So yeah, we're coming in for our pit stop now. Bolting on a set of fresh mediums, and now we're going to be the fastest car all the way to the end of the race. As my throat is still killing me, but that's not the point. Alvaro Carreton in the lead, goes past, and now we're coming out of the pits. You see 1.6, 2.2 behind Will Lewis, our teammate, who's actually hoping for a safety car along with Thomas Ronha. So yeah, as you see here, Will, our teammate, just struggling on the hards, got not much grip, and I kind of had in my brain that he would let us go. As you're about to see here, it's going to be a pretty easy move. Will's going to comfortably let us go. We're going to stay in the slipstream to get the maximum benefit. You see he's flashing as well, so Will lets us go. Perfect team play from him. And yeah, now it's a 4 second gap to Luke Smith up ahead, and we got 8 laps to close that in, which I felt pretty confident I could do. But it was just a matter of fact if I could get there with some ERS still to play with. And looking back on it, I really should not have used ERS to get up to the back of them. All my mistake. It's easier to look at it in hindsight, I know. Um, but yeah, there's not really much we can do now except from watch it back. We actually get fastest lap due to Will's DRS help. 3.2 now, onto lap 22, 1.8 behind Luke Smith, and we've got 0 battery left. They're actually going side by side up ahead, 3 wide, so this is perfect for us. We're going to be looking to close that gap even more now. I think they were fighting because they didn't want me to come up behind, because if I'm the first one that they have to battle, then that means that they are going to be struggling big time to keep me behind. But now this is just helping me big time. You see it onto the next lap. We're now within the DRS zone of Daniel Kjelsen. I don't want to. Sorry if I butchered that, but yeah. Now we're in the DRS, and it should be a pretty easy move as his tyres are the youngest. There isn't really much of a fight that he's going to be able to put up, I don't think. But yeah, we're going to be very fast into this last sector. As here we go. We're gonna get as close as possible. Maybe line up and move into this final sector. And
penalty legit.
as I'm asking there, is Luke's penalty legit? It in the end wasn't. It was a bit of a controversial one, but yeah, he ended up getting his penalty removed, and we're now up behind Daniel, who is struggling on these tyres. Are we going to go for a move into turn 1? I don't know a clue. I can't remember. So yeah, we're going to get the exit. Not really turn on the battery until late. Catch him a little bit off guard up the inside. And that's us up into P5. Easy move. Daniel doesn't really fight it because he knew I would really get past. But now it's Duncan Offlin, Luke Smith. And this is for a podium position. So it's been a really good drive so far. Getting up into the podium was not really what I was expecting in this race, but yeah, it's looking pretty good at the moment as we are chasing Duncan down with Luke Smith ahead. Again, at this point I did think that Luke's penalty was legit, as I got told in chat, but yeah, I wasn't going to bank on it, as I know some penalties do get removed. But yeah, up behind Duncan now, lap 25. We do want to obviously beat Duncan and Luke on track if we can, but it's not really going to be looking likely to get the win, obviously, as Ruben and Alvaro have done a pretty flawless race. And there's not really much we could have done from P12 except from qualify better. Our Achilles heel pretty much. But yeah, P5 still. I was pretty certain Luke's penalty was legit. So if I knew that it was going to get taken off, which in the end it did, I would have played these last few laps out quite differently by attacking Duncan. But in the end, yeah, you can't really change it now. We are now going to be starting the final lap and looking to both secure a podium with the fresher tyres, but yeah, it's going to be very hard. Not really much we can do because I knew Duncan did have quite a bit more ERS than us, probably double, if not closing on triple. So yeah, it's going to look quite a task for us as we head into the final lap once again. Lap 28 out of 28 through the first sector. You see, through the first sector we just have a lot more grip, but there's just nothing we can do really. I pushed the tyres so hard in the start to get them to fire up that now it's not really working for us. 17%, nowhere near enough. Duncan has got a lot more than us. Luke, not so much. So we still do have a chance here, as Duncan's going to be attacking Luke into the hairpin. You see, Duncan goes to the inside. Luke opens out the corner. Is Duncan going to push him wide? He does. Luke all over the outside curb. We're now looking for a move on Luke. Going to switch back. Again, go to the outside. I probably should have went to the outside here, but we got quite a nice switchback on the extra grip on the outside. Do we get him? No, we just can't get around his outside. It's just looking like a P5 finish right now. Dart to the outside, trying to get around the outside, but there's just nothing we can really do. P4 in the end, which will turn into P5. But yeah, not the greatest race. I mean, I felt like I drove pretty well, but again, quality management needs to be improved. And yeah, once we get that done, it should be pretty smooth sailing. Yeah, once again, appreciate everyone watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.